Have you guys watched My Fault London? If you've seen Culpa Mia, which was the original version of My Fault London, you have to watch the spin-off. Even though the storyline is the same, I mean even the name of the butler is the same, I think I watched a completely different thing. And it seems like it will continue to follow the footsteps of Culpa Mia, meaning that the second movie is on the corner. So let's talk about what I've learned so far about the sequel. Before we get into all the juicy details regarding the sequel though, we need to refresh our minds about My Fault London, because I bet you guys were as confused as I am when you realized that this was basically the English version of Culpa Mia. In both Culpa Mia and My Fault London, the movie begins with the mother's decision to move in with her new rich husband who has a son. Differences begin here. We see a more stubborn mom in Culpa Mia. She and Noah are continuously arguing about something because Noah is as stubborn as her mother. But in My Fault London, Noah and her mother have a nice relationship. Now, let's focus on the differences between the two movies, because feel free to disagree with me in the comments, but I believe My Fault London is still worth your time. Maybe it's the British charm, but I think all the characters are more polite in the spin-off, especially Nick. In Culpa Mia, Nick is rude, reckless, and from the outside, he's a perfect son. But we all know that this isn't true. We see that Nick's like addicted to things that could harm him. He fights, he races. It's like he's giving his all to be a bad boy. Believe me, you'll see all the cliches. So we see a lot of race and fight scenes where the blue, green, and red gangs join. In My Fault London, we don't have gangs with colors. I mean, come on, was it really necessary in the first place? And we only see Nick in a race and a fight once. Despite Noah kept telling him that he's being rude, he was actually a real gentleman. If she thinks he's rude, she should have seen Culpa Mia Nick. And in the spin-off, Nick is not just a son of a rich man. He has an app, Connect, which he released when he was only 17 and made a lot of money. So his dad is proud of him. And actually, I'm proud of him too. Unlike Culpa Mia. Nick, he has done something. To me, the answer is clear. But let me know which Nick would you choose. Plus, Culpa Mia, Noah, and My Fault London. Noah are completely different characters. Culpa Mia. Noah acts like a child most of the time if you ask me. She's reckless and unaware of the consequences of her behaviors. She gets Nick in trouble most of the time, like he needed more. But in My Fault London, Noah is much more reasonable, and I think she is stronger. She can handle things on her own. She doesn't need a Prince Charming to save the day. I think it's obvious that I like the spin-off better, but what I think is the best in Culpa Mia is Noah's dad. He's this psycho who wants money and is willing to kill his daughter for that matter, but he is perfect. Even I was scared when he came out from the closet and when he was yelling at Noah about how miserable his life got and his passion about cars. He was yelling like, "Do you know how it feels to not be able to touch a steering wheel?" I mean, he was good. We didn't even get to see the spin-off dad and Noah's traumas about him that much. At this point, would you rather watch a psycho as a dad or less trauma is better? Let me know what you think. But let's be honest. The biggest difference between the two movies is the fact that in Culpa Mia, parents find out about Noah and Nick's relationship, but that's not happening in My Fault London. Noah and Nick love and can't get off of each other. Our inner Wattpad reader girls can go crazy about it, but we have to admit, it's a bit creepy. So in Culpa Mia, parents thought that it's creepy too, and they tried to separate Noah and Nick like they did everything that they could. In My Fault London, we don't see the parents as much as we saw them on Culpa Mia. The only thing about them finding out is the talk at the end of the movie. Nick's father asks, "I know that they get along, but you don't think they're..." He's implying that if there's a thing between them, Noah's mother laughs and immediately says, no. For them, there's no chance that their kids are in love. So when I think about a sequel for My Fault London, all I can think about is the parents finding out the relationship. If they'll find out, I think they'll be even stricter. Since we know from Culpa Tuya, the sequel of Culpa Mia, Noah is going to university, and Nick had to deal with problems because of that. I think we'll be seeing it in the sequel of My Fault London too, but I really don't think their relationship will get complicated, like Culpa Mia's Noah and Nick. I think the only problem they'll be facing is the parents finding out, and since Nick is successful and Noah is not acting like a child, they can solve this problem. Maybe they can move out together, or if the parents try to separate them by sending one of them somewhere, the other can go after too. So basically, I don't think that they'll ever end up like Culpa Mia Nick and Noah. Since we have a gentleman as Nick, I don't think we're going to see Briar, who got into an accident with Nick while she was pregnant, in the sequel. I don't think My Fault London. Nick is raised by getting everything he wanted, so I don't think that he's spoiled. Also, I don't get the "we'll handle everything for you" vibe from Nick's family like they had in Culpa Mia. Since I don't think they'll be dealing with Briar, maybe the plot can be about the bad guy, Ronnie, or a new guy in Noah's school who'll be trying to get Noah. And Noah, on the other hand, can be dealing with someone similar to Sophia, who worked with Nick in Culpa Mia. What do you guys think? Are we going to get a new Sophia? Or will we get a completely different character? You know, maybe Nick can have a team that he's working with for another app, Or maybe he can be sent to work for his father's company and meet someone there. If there'll be a new character that we'll have to hate, like Sophia, I think we'll be seeing them on the trailer. And basically, Noah's going to school, parents finding out about them and arguing with them. Maybe we can even see a scene where they kick Noah and Nick out of the house and tell them to live on their own. I think we can all agree that the Culpa Mia franchise has grown very fast, and that's why My Fault, London almost broke viewing records from the moment it was released. So it wouldn't be surprising to hear that a second movie is coming soon. One of the directors, Danny Girdwood, said, "No spoilers, but at the end of the movie, it does feel like Nick and Noah's story isn't quite finished. So hopefully, fingers crossed for sure." And Asha Banks aka. Noah said she would love to be in a possible sequel. They added, "That would be an absolute dream." Hopefully, if it goes down well, if people want to see more, I hope that happens. Besides Asha and Matthew, I think we'll be seeing Ronnie too. In the end, we're going to need a bad guy. And they'll be dealing with him as a group with Lion, Jenna, Zach, and the others. Since the movie released on the 13th of February, I think we'll be seeing the sequel by the end of 2026. But there's a good chance for us to get a trailer around April 2026. So fingers crossed to all our inner Wattpad reader girls. Let me know what do you think will happen below. For more weekly updates on Culpa Mia franchise, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.